welcome to the Raleigh Municipal Lighting Plant monthly meeting of May 7th, because we had to change the date a little bit. It's 7 p.m. And just a reminder that this meeting is being audio and video recorded digitally. And the first item on the agenda tonight is the Citizens Query, which starts at 7 and will end at 7:10. For any citizens that may want to come by and ask some questions. We can't act on anything under that item, but we can certainly listen to you and take it under review. And our next agenda item will be employee negotiations. Okay.
We just I'll give you guys a loop, sorry.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I'm all set. Brian, you want? I want to basically bring the employees before the commissioners tonight to start the negotiation process, as their employment agreement is from July to July. So it gives us tonight and June's meeting to basically tonight to kind of go over the proposals, maybe not act on anything, but go over the proposals. If you have any questions, Mark and Brian are here to answer any questions you may have about the proposals. And if it's okay with the commissioners, the June meeting, everybody will come by and we can finish up the negotiations then, if that's the way you want to work it.
Yep,
Yeah, we thought we gave it to you. You could think about it for a month and
Yep.
think about it. Oh, I mean, I don't know if you want to discuss anything, but
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that kind of jumps out at me is actually the first one that you get down, and that's the insurance
yeah. I mean,
percentage.
I'm sure you're going to want to look into that. but
Yeah, well, I think we'll
legal
have to.
Obligations too, because I don't want to say anything bad about Georgetown, but I don't know if they looked into it.
Yeah, I
Because no
don't,
one will give you anything in writing, so.
really, I don't know. I know that the town now was, what, 52 and a half?
52 and a half, 48.
48, yeah, 52, 48, but in that area there. And I know the last time, well, I say the last time, it was probably 15 years ago, my God, that we looked into it as the whole town.
Yeah.
And under the state law, you can't just take one department out of a group and increase it has to all be across the board. And that's when we actually did the increase that the town now has, was during that time
52,
period.
yeah, I remember when we went. they went
That's what
there.
we got it, we managed to get that much out of town meeting, so. But that's what it takes, is the town meeting to make the approval, so. Yeah, we're gonna wanna look into that.
Yeah,
and
I
see
mean, like,
just where it
I know
stands.
they do it, and I'm not saying that,
Yeah,
we obviously don't want you to break the law, or the light department, or whatever, but I don't know if they, got legal advice or whatever, so.
And there are other ways besides giving the straight percentage. There's stipends if you wanted to go that route. There are different ways to work it so that it's not changing the percentage. It would be just giving them employees a little bit more to compensate for the changes in the insurance. And the insurance has raised dramatically over the last probably 10 years. I think it's gone up quite a bit.
yeah, although last year I think we did pretty well, because we changed the.
Yeah, I think you only want
It's not, I keep saying Gatsby, it's not Gatsby, it was the state policy of the state requirement to look at that.
Yeah,
And I think the carrier we have met the state requirement.
yes, yes,
So it wasn't quite as bad as normal.
no, no.
And I'm not quite sure now where it stands this year, but we can look into that.
3.39 at the moment.
And Karen Summit's looking into that
Okay.
this year.
But I mean, obviously, it's a cost of light department, but as a individual person, I mean, and I know the whole town's in the same boat as us, but
Yeah.
it's a huge expense. I mean,
Well,
I'm not trying to complain, I'm just, you know.
No, I
know
think
you know.
across the board for everybody. I mean, no
just-
matter if you're in the private sector or if
Yeah.
you're, in the public sector. I mean, I was just talking to somebody last week in the private sector and it's paying $24,000 a year.
Well,
I was just like,
yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know it's.
self-employed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
For a fam, that
ridiculous.
was for a family. That was,
Yeah, I mean, that's
that's
a lot of
staggering.
money.
It is.
Expense.
Okay. So I think we should, as suggested, take this under advisement and look into the couple of items we questioned, and then have you guys come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And just a caveat, that was under the new plan down from Washington. That's the reason their
Oh.
insurance went up, but because of the
Yeah, because of that. I know, you thought it would help things, but it just.
the Affordable Care Act, that's, wow.
So,
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
seeing you.
okay. Agenda item number 2. Review and accept minutes from previous meeting. Has everybody had a chance to
Yes.
review the minutes? Is there any thing that jump out at you, or errors or omissions? I actually read them, and I didn't find anything, so
Give me a motion.
that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from that April 9th.
Okay, do you want to second it, Ken?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, agenda item number 3, Department of Telecommunications and Energy Report Review.
I had emailed everybody a copy of the report and prior to the meeting, just so they could kind of review it prior to the meeting. That way we don't have to spend a huge amount of time on this. I'll hand out copies for the commissioners to sign.
Okay,
Let me see. I have one with a signature page, and what we'll do is we can sign that one. I can make a copy just of the signature page, and then we can.
okay.
That's the one with the signature page. Okay. Oh, you already have
Yeah, I
one.
already have a copy of it.
Were there any questions, comments about the DT report? It took a little while than usual to get it done. As we've talked about previously, we had some issues in closing out last year, and that also affected the timetable for the DT report. And there were some errors in the original one that I had first sent you, and then I had the accountant correct those pages and send them back to me, and they are incorporated in this report.
never correct the signature pages on the end. You guys have any comment, suggestion, information?
No?
I took a quick scan through it, it looks good to me.
And by all means, if you have any, questions that you don't think of tonight, just email me and I'll answer any questions
Yeah,
that you
I'll
have
look it
about
up,
the
yeah,
report.
okay.
Okay.
No, I've read it a couple of times, I couldn't say anything.
Okay.
How much has the streetlight revenue gone down since last year? This year, I mean, this is last year's,
Right.
so it's $32,000. I'm just wondering, the LED program.
This year's, it was about 28,000, so it's gone down about 4,000.
4,000 is
Yeah,
significant.
I believe the year before that was right around 33,000, 34,000
So
prior
it's
year.
making an impact.
Yeah, the LEDs are definitely making an impact in the kilowatt hour usage for the town lights. And in June, Mark and myself are going to be going before the selectmen with a list of lights that we would like to add for safety reasons. And that will basically, since we have room to move now and that, it'll even out, we can add more lights basically for the same cost. And we can actually light some streets and some intersections that don't have lights right now.
Good idea.
Okay.
Also, Bob, you were doing work with this within the town itself, the town municipal buildings. We made changes in the light structure.
We haven't done too many of them yet. We're getting ready to, we just, as you remember, Monday night, we passed the article to do the work in the hallway out here.
Right.
So we're gonna change the majority of the lights in this building, at least this, right now, to T8s. Get rid of the T12s, which are, the T8s are more energy efficient. And energy efficient in that they throw a lot more light. So, as an example, in here, we'll probably wind up with 4 fixtures here instead of 6. So we'll get that savings there.
I know, a number of businesses who have done this have saved a significant amount of money.
Yeah, yeah. And the same in the hallway. We're going to eliminate, not half of them, but we'll eliminate some of them. In the other offices also. And in the assessor's office, we're going to convert their fixtures, because they're fairly new. They're parabolic reflectors.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to convert those to T8s.
Okay.
Instead of changing the whole fixture, we'll put a conversion kit in them and make them T8s. And there again, we'll be able to eliminate 2 or 3 or 4 extra fixtures that are there.
Yeah, we should put it all in the municipal buildings, really.
And I think, we'll see how that goes. And then I think we'll start working on the annex.
Okay.
And get some of those squared away, because those things definitely need to be replaced, because those are T12s, which the lamps aren't being manufactured anymore. And they're actually remote starters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So every
Oh,
time
wow.
you change a lamp, you gotta change a starter.
Yeah,
And it's, and once you get to the point where you need to change a ballast,
Yeah.
you have to rewire the fixture.
Yeah.
So-
I've done that. That's
Yeah.
not fun.
So it's they definitely need some work over there, and we're gonna be working on that.
I know the highway had approached us, the highway department approached us about doing an energy audit for that building, and we had our Energy New England do that audit.
Yes. yeah.
So if any other town department needs an energy audit, library, town hall, the annex, we can definitely have E&E do that audit for them.
Okay, I think the library, probably wouldn't hurt to check it, but I think the library's probably fairly good, only because at the time there were energy requirements when they built that building.
Okay.
And I think most of them over there are the very small, low voltage fluorescent type.
Okay.
So, and I know they use the recessed lights with the fluorescent lamps and that type of thing, so. And those are like 23 watts or something.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fairly small.
So I think they're probably compared to the rest of us, but they're probably in good shape over there.
Okay, it's just a suggestion that if any town department needed that,
Yeah.
we'd offer those services to them.
And hopefully, we won't have to worry about police and fire another year or 2.
Hopefully.
They'll have all brand-new lights too. But, yeah, so I think the 2 main buildings will be this building and the annex that are probably the most non-energy efficient that we have at this point. So, you know, in the basement, we've changed most everything to compact fluorescents down there in this building, and probably over there at the annex also. But, yeah, you know, we'll be working on that.
Yeah, I think if we can show a savings here, that shows the public out there that they can save at home too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there is savings to be had out there. I mean, it's a little bit costly up front for the LEDs right now, but once you put them in, I mean, you made the suggestion the other day, that new one that's out there, the kind of the...
That flat bulb, that
bulb
flat
one?
Phillips bulb.
Yeah.
I mean, I put them around the house and everything else, and you know, I talked to Eric about, you know, where I am for energy savings, and it's made a difference.
Yep.
We'll see again this month.
And they're decent bulbs. They're made, I don't know if you've seen one.
Well, those are the ones that, because we talked about at the meeting about the light department offering them for sale. And one of the vendors sent me those as one of the bulbs that we were offered for sale.
Wow, that's good, because, I mean, they'll fit a standard lamp with the bulb, with the shade that goes down over the bulb. That's why
Right.
the bulb is shaped the way it is. But the light, you don't know the difference.
It gives you more light, I believe.
Yeah, it does, but you can't tell the difference between that and an incandescent.
I
You
put
really
60, I put that the equivalent 60 watts in, and it's like 10, I think it's equivalent, it's 10.5 watts.
Yeah.
You got, so I mean, a significant savings. And I put those in the shaded fixtures,
Yeah.
and it really made a difference in the house.
Right.
I mean, and it gives you more light.
Do you notice any humming in the bulbs? Because I looked them up online a little bit, and
One
that
bulb.
was one of the things. that
One
was-
bulb, and I took it out and I put in another lamp fixture and it stopped.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I did hear a hum out of it.
You might
Yeah.
want to check and see if it's a polarized plug. It's possible it may not be polarized. If it's an older fixture, it may not be a polarized plug.
All the plugs.
The wide plug and the
Yeah,
narrow.
The wide plug and the narrow, yeah.
Narrow blade on it, the wide blade, narrow blade. And if you get with the reverse polarity,
Well, they just
that
changed it
may
from one
be the
fixture
issue
to-
with the humming,
Okay.
possibly. I mean, I don't know for sure, but sometimes
That was
happens.
one of the things that they said online.
Online, yeah, that was one of the comments people were making. I was looking a little bit into them before we start selling them to customers. That I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, the last thing we want is the customer to say,
Yes.
we got the humming
Yes.
bulb.
So-
Yes.
Have to make a bird shit and they'll be all set.
Yeah. But for reading and everything else, and
Very nice,
it's
yeah.
a great, really is, it throws off a tremendous amount of light.
Yeah.
I think it's a better light than the regular incandescent bulbs. But that's me.
Yeah. Okay, any other comment on the report? We'll entertain a motion to accept and sign the
I'll give you that motion.
motion made to
Second.
accept the report. Motion made and seconded to accept the report. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Eric, would you mind making some copies of that page? Okay.
Very good.
Make four of these, which are awesome. Best.
Thank you. Okay. The next item agenda is going to be Daniels Road property.
I wanted to put this item on the agenda only because I had sent an email out about the house.
Yep.
And we, in Mark's passing by the house, going to the sub, he had noticed that it looked like there was a hole in the roof.
I think we had a critter.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So we, Mark had mentioned it to me, so we sent the guys up and they took these photos while they were there.
Okay.
We did the best we could to patch the hole for now. And we didn't go inside to see where the critter was.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was, but we will have, go inside and see if we can locate the critter, if it's still in there or not. The roof is in bad need of repair, as you can tell, on that side of the house.
Uh-huh.
The other side looks fairly decent.
Yeah, I know they, at one point, that's this side here, right?
Yes.
That's where the hole is, up in here.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Actually, you can't really see it. Oh, it's right here.
Right on the edge.
Yeah, right on
Okay.
the edge.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
so
see the flashing right there.
there's some flashing on this drip edge here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the south side, so. I knew the roof had been replaced at some point. It wasn't all that old, but,
No,
I thought
the,
someone said it was about 10 years old.
the other side, and when you look at the other side of the house, the other side looks probably about 10 years old.
Okay.
okay.
This side of the house, the shingles all starting to crawl in the corners,
Okay,
and
they probably,
Okay.
it looks like it's in pretty tough shape.
All right.
yeah, may not get done at the same time, so. Okay,
And while we're on the subject, I know we've mentioned before in past meetings that to look into leasing the property to somebody else. I've really had no luck finding anybody to this point.
okay.
I will keep searching to see if we can locate somebody to lease the house to, but I think in the meantime, we at least need to put a new roof on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And what do you think about replacing just one side, the whole roof? I mean, have a shingle come in and a roofer come in and give me some opinions on both sides, or?
Yeah.
I think probably
Well, definitely, I think this side, if we decide to do something with it, needs to be redone. And maybe we ought to talk to the roofer and see what he thinks about the other side, and just
Okay.
get an opinion. I mean, the other side is the north side, so it doesn't get the sunlight and the heat like the south side gets. But hate to sink a lot of money into it anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, with something like that in the roof, the house is
Well,
gonna
definitely,
deteriorate.
yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
Once you get something like this in there, it'll go very quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is,
the shingles have been done, thinking back.
the siding is good,
10
there's new windows in it, so I mean, it's, at some point, it is worth a little bit, spending some money on it at least.
So more than likely, the shingles were bought locally
I would think
for
so.
it, so there's probably be able to match the shingles.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people, contractors in town, they'll do business with the local vendors.
Yep.
So I found this, that you go to a local vendor, you can find your shingle.
Yeah, match it to the other
They'll
side.
match, you can match the shingle up. so.
Okay, all right. And while somebody's there, there is a few pieces of siding that have blown off the house. Looks like they had some blown-in insulation done at some point.
okay, yeah,
So right where they probably removed that piece of siding,
and then put it back on.
they put it back on probably, but they didn't probably secure it correctly,
Yeah.
so it has blown off since.
Actually, I'm looking at the wrong side of the house, this is the north side,
Because the substation road comes by this side.
right,
of the-
yeah, so this is the back porch.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Right,
this is,
back porch.
this is the south side over here. I was thinking this was the street out here. It's
Yep.
not, the street's over here. So that may not have got done the last time. They
Okay.
probably did this side over here because it's the south side and it would have been the worst condition. So they didn't do this side because it was still fairly comparatively decent.
Okay.
But
Well, I will,
anyway,
I'll have a roofer come in, kind of give me an opinion on the whole job, and
yep,
I'll keep you up to date on, what it's gonna cost, and I'll send you the estimates,
okay.
so you can kind of be appraised of what we have to do.
Need a motion to send Dan, give him permission to
To look into it.
look into it. I'll
Okay.
make that motion.
Motion made. What do you think, Ken?
I just hate spending money on this place. But we gotta take care of it. We can get somebody to look at it.
So do you want to second the motion or?
But to accept it,
Well, to have Dan just to kind of look into it and see what the cost
Yeah,
would be.
yeah. yeah, make that motion to have you look into it. Yeah.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5, cost of service rate study questions.
At our last meeting, we talked a little bit about the rate study and that we were gonna have a meeting with the gentleman who was doing the rate study for us. And before our next meeting with this gentleman, he has a few questions for the commissioners that
Okay,
you'd kind of like to ponder over and give it some thought, because he's going to ask you for these, and in order to keep the process moving, it'd be nice to have these, kind of talked about beforehand. So there's, right now, we have a farm rate that's part of the residential service rate, and it's a large discount for the farm rate, and he was just making sure that the commissioners want to continue it at that percentage, and just kind of give that some thought. I think right now it's around 20%, wants to move to 10%. So we're just gonna wait for you guys to decide what you want to do with that. But that's one of it. I'll type these up and send them to you so you can
yeah,
you'll have them in
that
an
would be
email.
good, yeah.
Right now, we don't have a customer charge in the residential rate. I'm not sure, Bob, if was ever a customer charge in the residential rate. Is that something?
No, not that I'm aware of. The only
Okay.
thing we ever did was just the minimum charge.
Mhm.
But we didn't have an actual customer rate up front like that.
When he builds the rate, he is going to factor in a customer charge just so you can see what it looks like.
Okay,
And he's not sure what that customer charge should be. I mean, the average is probably around $4 to $5 per customer, and that would probably offset a reduction in the rate a little bit because you're getting that revenue from all those customers.
yeah,
So he's just that's another question. The solar credit, he has a little bit of a question on that as far as the percentage of what we're giving the customer for the actual for the rate, because right now we're giving basically on any kilowatt hours the customer generates, we're giving them full retail rate because it's knocking them off their bill.
yeah, and that's fine when you got one or two customers that are generating their own, but at some point it's gonna tip the other way.
Right.
So I think we need to kind of look at that to see, first of all, how close we are to how many customers we got that want to take advantage of it, but what the impact would be if we actually went over that tipping point, and what would happen to the other customers.
I know the rate of the customer generates, take it off their bill because they're not using our power.
Right, it's an offset.
But the actual, then also, they also get the net metering credit if they generate more in a month than what they use.
Right,
That has been running about, actually last month, February was what, 11, 12 cents?
Something like that.
For the, we haven't had a customer, we've had one customer get a credit on his bill so far. The rest of the customers have not gotten to that point where they've actually gotten a credit from us.
okay,
But, I mean, the potential is there
Yep.
to get that credit. But that goes with the average LMP of the NEMA load zone, which in the summertime is only probably 3 to 5 cents run right around that area, but can jump dramatically in the wintertime when the price of fuel and everything else, the price of power goes way up.
yeah,
We ran anything like 11, 12 cents on a couple of months during the wintertime. So that's another thing to think about,
Mhm.
as far as how we want to structure that rate. So,
right,
and I'll type that up. Another one is the target of the rate of return. He's going to build 2% in, and that's kind of a number that I suggested.
okay,
We're allowed an 8% return on plant,
right.
but I mean, this is up for you to decide how you want to structure that rate to get that rate of return.
Right, no, I understand, and when I was there, I basically targeted 4. I figured if I could hit it halfway, based on what we had for loads in those days, we were doing very well, so. Yeah, I mean, the engineer, when he takes a look at that, if he thinks we can do it with the 2, that's a benefit to the customer.
Okay. It's going to be, what we're going to be doing is running the light department on a little bit leaner budget, because what we have to be careful of is that the rate that we're buying power at is increasing dramatically over the next probably 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So if we can keep the rate steady and decrease our rate of return,
Yep.
then hopefully that'll, decrease the cost to the customer somewhat. We're not gonna be able to absorb it all,
No,
but,
no, I understand.
Yeah.
so hopefully we'll be able to absorb.
It's as a famous Rowley selectman always says, lean and mean.
Do you know who that was?
But those are the questions I have for right now, and we can, I'll type these up and get them to you so you can see them.
Okay,
He is.
give it some thought and,
Give it some thought, and then what we'll do is we'll set up a meeting with him. He's willing to come to a meeting and talk to once he finishes the rate, he'll come in,
Okay.
we'll meet with him,
yeah,
and we'll ask these questions, and we'll kind of settle everything. Because once the rate study's finished, he can make any kind of changes that, we deem that we need necessary to
Exactly.
the rate structure in order
Yeah.
to make it come out the way we want.
yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Okay. That sounds good. So, we got one more item. And that's a executive session for management negotiations. Did you prepare an article for
I
that?
did not, Bob, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
Dan, next time we meet, we talked about the last meeting about generation, making generation,
Yes.
all right?
Okay. This is somewhere in here, but I've got.
Because you really piqued my interest in that.
I could tell.
Yeah, I think it's a darn good idea.
Bob, in the future, would you like me to type these up? I wasn't sure, because sometimes you do it, sometimes I do.
Well,
so I wasn't-
I was doing it, but to be honest with you, I forgot all about it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, executive sessions. I'm trying to figure out which section we were supposed to be under. Section 21. Okay, I think it's section 21. Section 1B, section 21. I was thinking I had some of these left over, but I guess I don't. Okay, it's chapter 30A, section 21. I believe it's section 2. 21A 2. And that is to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, to conduct collective bargaining sessions, contract negotiations with non-union personnel, which I think that's the category you'd fall under. And we would open the executive session and not reconvene in open session. So I think that part of the That would be the motion itself. So it would be Chapter 30A, Section 21A2. Would be what we want to go into.
Do you wish me to entertain a motion that we go into executive session for the purposes of negotiations,
And not to return
not to
to
return
open.
to open session?
And that would be by a roll call
Roll
vote.
call vote.
Okay, motion is made. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
You'll second it? Okay. We can handle that. So motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye.
Aye, Robert Murray?
Ken Keys.
Aye. Okay. We are now in executive session. So, I don't know if Janet's gonna come up